Good morning, Carla Hartley here. It is Wednesday, September 16th, 2020, and I'm continuing our discussion about the various types of income and the people who earn it, receive it, tend it, etc. Today we're discussing passive income. Passive income is a category of income that the IRS has designated as being a real thing. I understand it intellectually, but in terms of effort, I think there are very few truly passive income sources. So, for instance, rental income is often classified as passive income. It's really hard for clients to understand that rental income is passive income when that client is the person who's acting as his or her own property manager, when they're having to put money back into the property at certain points, when they're the guy or the woman who goes out when the security system is broken, or when the pool pump needs to be fixed, or when the water heater goes out, or the garbage disposal. So I want to be really clear that I'm not talking about passive income as a lack of effort. I'm talking about passive income as categories of income as determined by the IRS. Other forms of passive income would be from increase in stocks. I think there are so many. Retirement income. Okay, let's offend retirees who have worked for their income their whole life and call their income passive. They're going to say it's earned income that was set aside towards their retirement. But they're not earning it today, so it's kind of deemed passive income. So all this stuff goes in, and it's basically income you're receiving without what the IRS requires the requisite effort. That's as close as I can get to this. Now, passive income is fairly easy to trace. Passive income is generally reported in a series of different 1099s or other forms that are reported and are easily traced. The most difficult type of passive income, and again, nobody thinks this is passive, would be gambling income. You have to gamble to get gambling income. Most people get gambling losses, and the gambling losses are not as reportable as the gambling income. For instance, if you get gambling income, the IRS is going to tax you on every penny of that. But if you have gambling losses, you only get to deduct a portion. And it's the same way with stocks. If you're making money on stocks, fabulous. The IRS wants to tax you for every penny. If you're losing money, if you have capital gains losses, a lot of times those are very limited to, I think last year was $3,000 with what you could deduct if you had losses. Now you can deduct $3,000 if you have a $30,000 loss. It was my understanding that you can deduct $3,000 every year until the $30,000 is actually deducted. But again, I think we're seeing why the IRS considers this passive income. This is not a fun topic for discussion today, but it is income available for support. Passive income is income available for support, period. And there's a debate as to whether losses will qualify as deductible. For instance, say somebody has a 40-hour-a-week job and he's making $30,000 this month, and he doesn't want to pay support, or she doesn't want to pay support. So he decides he's going to have a big loss in the stock market to offset it. That's not going to work for about 6 different reasons. And I'm not going to go into them all here. We start with the IRS argument that, oh, hey, you don't get to deduct that much. You still have this income, you're still paying taxes on it. So that's one thing. Now, the court does have the ability, I would think, to deviate from the IRS code. We do on the issue of depreciation. Depreciation is a fictitious loss as far as the California courts are concerned for income available for support. So why couldn't the court go along with this idea that the limit to a $3,000 loss is a fictitious limit? I think the answer to this is in the intent of the party that's at hand. There's this wonderful thing in the summons when you serve it with the petition, or when you sign your petition and file it, the summons binds you. These are called standard family law restraining orders. Most attorneys refer to them as automatic temporary restraining orders, so we can call them ATROs because that is easier, smaller. Once you're served with that, you're no longer permitted to waste any portion of the community estate. Even stuff that you're doing leading up into a dissolution can be examined. And if it's bad faith, if it was like really, really no way to be a good business decision, if it looks remotely deliberate, the court's not going to let you have that. And you're not even allowed to exercise really bad judgment. There's a concept called breach of fiduciary duty, which can get really, really nasty. And it's a lot of fun when you catch somebody breaching their fiduciary duty to the spouse. That could be a whole different category. So there's not a lot to talk about with passive income, except how we find it, how you can't really use it to create losses, and as a jumping off point into breach of fiduciary duty. These are all concepts that have to be taken into consideration. The biggest thing for you to take away from this is if there is passive income, if there's retirement income, if there's Social Security income, if there is rental income, if there's income, from stocks that are invested that you guys are generally, trust income. Income is a big one. These are all forms of passive income, and they are all generally trackable starting with your tax return. Never, ever, look at my last video, tax returns are never definitive. They're just a good starting place. And I think you have to look at that and go, hey, if my spouse has any expectation of support, my passive income sources are going to be considered as income available for support. And if you are a spouse that is seeking support, your spouse's passive income sources are going to be considered income available for support. And that works the other way too. If you're the party seeking support and you've got a giant trust, you may end up being the party paying support. It is essential that you talk to an attorney who knows what they're doing with the issues of finances. And I would say, don't ever let your attorney file a motion for support without having given you a couple of possible dishonesto scenarios for what you might be looking at. That's all I have for this morning. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you're having a good week. I am off to the courthouse. Bye-bye.